बहुत सी गोली। वाह ना सही बोले तो एक हिंदी हिंदी बस
Good morning, all of you.
Good morning,
So, I guess my screen is visible. So, here we go. Um, so, what were we doing in the last session? We have actually worked out, we were seeing that Cayley-Hamilton theorem, right? We have seen the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. What is the statement of this theorem? I'll start recording this. Yeah. So what is the statement of the Cayley-Hamilton theorem? That is, every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Okay, that is the statement. Okay, now what may be asked over here, various questions are expected over here in this particular topic. The first one is the verification. Okay, verification in the sense the question is given, matrix is given, and we are supposed to show that the Cayley-Hamilton theorem is verified. So that part we have already seen. Okay, now I'll take this problem over here. Okay. Okay, so show that, okay, using Cayley-Hamilton theorem, using Cayley-Hamilton theorem, find A inverse and A raised to 4, where A is 1, 2, 3, 2 minus 1, 1, 3, 4 minus 1. Okay, suppose this is the question. To solve this particular thing, the first step is we have to use the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. For that, we require the characteristic equation. Okay, so we'll write down the characteristic equation. Equation is given by determinant of A minus lambda I. Of A minus lambda I equated to 0. Okay. Next, what we do is we write down what is this? 1, 2, 3, 2 minus 1, 1, 3, 4 minus 1, and minus lambda. Determinant is equal to 0. Okay. Now, how do we simplify this expression? It is lambda cube minus something into lambda square plus something into lambda minus something is equal to 0. Now, can you help me in filling up all these blanks? What comes over here in the first blank? In the first blank,
1 minus 1 नहीं 1
वाले will come.
हाँ, तो क्या आएगा यहाँ पे?
डायगोनल ऐड करना
1 minus 1. We add all the diagonal entries. So what will be this answer? It will be minus. Okay, what comes here? This bracket. What comes here in this bracket?
2 plus
Product of diagonal and then minus the other coordinates.
Very good. So we'll have first of all these two. We'll multiply the diagonal elements. Okay, how do we multiply? 1 into minus 1. So it will be minus 1. 1 into minus 1, again a minus 1. Then this will become plus 1. Okay, so this is the first part. What is this here? These elements. So what do we get? Minus, we'll have 4. And now we'll multiply these elements. We'll get a 9. Then we'll multiply this element. So what will is plus 4. So how much? This plus 1 and this minus 1 goes off. So it's a minus 1 remaining. And here it is 8 plus 9. So that is 6 plus 9 is how much? 20, right? Minus 1 minus 17. So what do we get here? Minus 18. Okay. And what comes in this bracket?
Determinant.
Determinant of
Determinant of A. Okay. So now please tell me what is the determinant of this A matrix?
40.
40. Okay. So 2 minus 1, 1. 3, 4 minus 1. This determinant turns out to be 40. Okay. Therefore, the characteristic equation that we are going to get, we'll write it. It is lambda cube plus lambda square minus 18 lambda. Okay, one more thing. Check the sign. This is positive, negative, positive, negative, correct. So this is the case. Minus 40 is equal to 0. Okay. Now what happens according to the Cayley-Hamilton theorem? What happens according to the Cayley-Hamilton theorem? It is nothing but by Cayley-Hamilton theorem. What we have is a cube plus a square minus 18a minus 40i is equal to 0. Okay, is this much clear? Okay, now next, see over here, this question, what we can do is, using this expression, we will try to find what is A inverse. Okay, how do we get that A inverse? Actually, A inverse can be obtained directly.
multiply by inverse.
Very good. That's it. So when we multiply by A inverse, it will be A square plus A. Are you getting it? I'll reduce the powers of A now. So what will happen here? What will come along with this 18?
Identity.
Identity. Okay. What will come along with identity?
40 inverse.
What will be the
A
RHS?
inverse.
0. Okay. Now we'll just rearrange this. So to get the expression for A inverse, what will be that? So this goes here. So it will be A square plus A minus 18i, and this multiplied by 1 by 40. So now what we can do is, we can find out what is A square, what is this matrix A square, and we can substitute that in this expression to get the value of A inverse. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, now on the similar lines, if we want A raised to 4, how do we get this A raised to 4? In that case, yes,
Division quotient method we
can use that also, but then A raised to 4, it's just a simple power that has been asked. So what we can do is, we can multiply this expression. See over here, the characteristic, the Cayley-Hamilton theorem, what we had is A cube plus A square minus 18A minus 40i is equal to 0. Now if I multiply this by A, then what do we get? It will be A raised to 4 plus A cube minus 18A square minus 40a is equal to 0. Okay, so what do we get here? It is a raised to 4 is equal to minus a cube plus 18a square plus 40a. So now what we can do is we can find a square. What is the simplification for this? We can find a cube, okay, and hence we can substitute both the values here to get the expression for a raised to 4. Okay, it's because it was just a raised to 4 we could easily, matlab, division algorithm is also correct option, but even that much is not required. Directly ऐसे भी कर सकते हो. Okay, so this can be one of the ways of solving this. Is this clear? Now, okay, now when the big expressions comes, that time we had two options of getting the expressions, simplifying the expressions. That is the division method we can apply, or the other method was using the eigen values. Okay, so let us take some more sums over there. Yeah. Find the matrix. Find the matrix represented by a raised to 7 minus 4 a raised to 6 minus 20 a raised to 5 minus 34 a raised to 4 minus 4a cube minus 20a square minus 33a plus I, where a is equal to 1 4 1 3 2 2 7 3 1. Get over here. So what we can do is big expression that we are trying to simplify. Okay, or again over here we'll try to apply the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So the first thing is getting the characteristic equation. What is the characteristic equation over here? The characteristic equation is given by determinant a minus lambda I is equal to 0. Then we'll have 1 4 1 3 2 2 7 3 1 minus lambda minus lambda minus lambda, determinant of this equal to 0. Now who will tell me the characteristic equation? Who will help me in simplifying this? I guess you people have learned this now. You should be clear with this, what appears and how do we simplify. Okay.
Four.
Yes, Shivam. So please tell me what all things we are going to get. The first coefficient is 4.
4.
Okay, we add up everything. Now the second coefficient is
2 plus 2 plus 1
2 plus 2 plus 1.
plus minus 12
Very good.
minus 7
Correct.
minus 6.
Correct. So what is this? This is 5 minus
minus 20.
minus
20.
minus 20. So we get minus 20. And what about this one?
35.
35. So we got the characteristic equation lambda minus 20 lambda minus 35 equal to 0. Okay. Now this big expression, there are again two ways of solving it. So by Cayley-Hamilton theorem, what we'll have is a cube minus 4a square minus 20a minus 35i is equal to 0. Either you can perform the division, you can perform the actual division of these two things and then identify what the remainder is, or the other way will be what? Okay, by the way, what are the eigenvalues for this one? What are the roots? What are the roots? Let us see.
Yes, it's coming in point 7.36.
Okay.
Negative positive numbers.
Okay.
Imaginary numbers.
So, okay, if that is the case, then we'll prefer, see, because substituting these values will be little difficult for us. So we'll go for the division method. Okay. So what I'll do suggest is perform the actual division. Actually powers में भी ज़्यादा difference नहीं है. So see, it is a raised the by Cayley-Hamilton theorem we are getting a polynomial with degree 3, and here this expression is a raised to 7. So in this case, even the division method will be finely working. So just be careful and identify the remainder properly. Okay. Now, if some big expressions appear, for example, if it is somewhat like this, say a raised to, say some very big power, say 40 or 50, something like that. Okay. So those expressions can be easily simplified by this expression. Okay. So suppose, okay, find a raised to 50 if a is equal to 2112. Okay, if this is the case, so see over here, what we can do is, how can we solve this one? The characteristic equation is determinant of a minus lambda I. So this will be 2 minus lambda 1, 2 minus lambda is equal to 0. So what do we get? Lambda square minus 4 lambda plus determinant is 3. Okay, what are the lambda values over here? Lambda values are 3 and 1. Check this, minus 3. So these are the lambda values. Now how do we proceed over here? Now over here, how can we simplify this expression? We want to simplify a raised to 50. Okay, this a raised to 50 is what we are trying to simplify. So let us write down lambda raised to 50. Okay, the eigenvalue of this will be what? Lambda raised to 50. So we'll go by for this particular thing. Okay. So now, if we are trying to simplify this big expression, or not this, wait. This a raised to 50, when we are trying to simplify, how will this be? It will be a square minus 4a plus 3i. This is the characteristic Cayley-Hamilton theorem. This will be my divisor into some polynomial in a. So this is actually my quotient plus the remainder. Okay. And how will the remainder look like? How will be the remainder over here?
A lambda plus b.
Correct. It will be a lambda plus b. Okay. So remainder a raised to 50 will be of the form, say lambda alpha, some constant या a b कुछ लिखना है तो alpha times a plus beta times I. ठीक है? Because this is a quadratic, will have 1 degree less in terms of a. Okay, so this is what is expected. So in particular, what will be the values wala expression? It will be this way. So a we have replaced this by lambda. So in particular, put lambda equal to, what are the values for lambda? 1. If I put lambda equal to 1, what do we get? 1 raised to 50 is equal to alpha 1b. That is, what we have got is 1 is equal to alpha plus beta. Okay. Similarly, we can put the other value of lambda, that is 3. So what we get is 3 raised to 50 is equal to alpha into 3 plus this beta. So what do we get is 3 raised to 50 is equal to 3 alpha plus beta. Okay. Now we can solve this. So we have got 1 is equal to alpha plus beta. I can subtract this. So what do we get is 3 raised to 50 minus 1 is equal to 2 alpha. This will go off. Therefore, what is the value of alpha? It is 3 raised to 50 minus 1 divided by 2. Okay. Now similarly, we can get the beta value also. Whichever way you want to proceed, ये substitute कर दो वहाँ पे तो भी आ जाएगा. Or if you want to solve it further, now I can equate the coefficient of alpha. So this will be 3 raised to 50 is equal to 3 alpha plus beta. Then I can have 3 is equal to 3 alpha plus 3 beta. Subtracted, this will go off. What remains is 3 raised to 50 minus 3 is equal to minus 2 beta. Therefore, beta is equal to 3 raised to 50 minus 3 divided by minus 2. So this will be 3 minus 3 raised to 50 divided by 2. Okay, so what the values of alpha and beta. Okay, now the trouble was only with this particular thing. So if we have this values, okay, now suppose I have suppose I want 50, a raised to 50 for find a raised to 50 if my a value is say 2 minus 3, 3 and minus 4. Okay, what is the characteristic equation over here? Characteristic equation in this case, characteristic equation. It will be, shall I write it directly? Lambda square minus of 2 lambda plus minus 8. So check out what we have got. This is lambda plus 1 square. So the lambda value is repeated. Okay, if the repeated value appear over here, okay, and we still want to simplify this expression. Okay, so what will happen is finally this sort of thing will be there. So let a raised to 50 is equal to alpha times a plus beta times I. Okay, now when we substitute, when we put lambda is equal to minus 1, what do we get is minus 1 raised to 50 is equal to into minus 1 plus beta into I. I is 1. Okay, is this clear? So this is what we have obtained. This is 1 is equal to minus alpha plus beta. Now, how do we solve this? Okay, we want to find the values of a and b, so we should get two equations. Okay, now whenever there is a case where a particular eigenvalue is repeated, okay, so see over here, this is lambda raised to 50 is equal to alpha times lambda plus beta. Suppose I call this equation as 1. Okay, now how do we solve for repeated one? See, the repeated eigenvalue also satisfies one more equation. And what is that equation? It is the derivative of this. Okay, so if I differentiate 1, when we differentiate the equation number 1, what do we get is 50 lambda raised to 49 is equal to it will be alpha. Alpha lambda का derivative क्या हो जाएगा? 1 हो जाएगा, and beta into what will have is it's 0. Okay, so finally what will be this expression? It will be only alpha. Is this clear? So now this equation will be satisfied by the repeated eigenvalue. So it will be 50 into minus 1 raised to 49 is equal to alpha. So what do we get is minus 50. Minus 1 raised to 49 is minus, along with this 50 gives me the value of alpha. Okay, so the alpha value is minus 50. We can substitute over here. Substitute over here, so it will be 1 is equal to minus 50 and 1 is equal to plus beta. So what do we get is minus 49 is the beta value. This was a very important concept. Okay, so whenever we are falling short of equations, we are introducing them, those extra equations, by getting the derivatives. Okay, now these derivatives while expression will be satisfied only by the repeated value. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, one more last sum on this particular thing. So we have, suppose this one. Let us find this a raised to 50 only. Find a raised to 50. Okay, what is this a raised to 50? If a is equal to 1 1 0 0 0 1 0 1 0. Okay, Achha, by the way, I have just focused only on finding the alpha and beta value. Well, when we are supposed to write down the expressions, we need to complete. So over here also what is expected is, therefore a raised to 50 is equal to alpha a plus beta I, that is alpha is this value 3 raised to 50 minus 1 by 2 into a, plus here what we have is 3 raised to 50 3 raised to 50 minus 3 divided by 2 times identity. If the numbers are very big, you may leave the expression like this. Otherwise, we are expected to solve also. For example, in this case, what we have is a raised to 50 is equal to alpha a plus beta I. Alpha value is minus 50 times a minus 49i. So now see here the numbers are pretty small ones. So the answer that is expected will be the complete instance. So this should be minus 50. Write down the A matrix. Minus 49. Write down the identity matrix. Simplify this to get only one matrix. Okay, so where do we expect single matrix and when do we accept the expressions? It depends on the values of alpha and beta that we are getting. Okay. Now What is the characteristic equation? Lambda cube minus lambda square lambda minus is equal to 0. So what comes over here? The addition. So it is 1. What comes here? It is 1 into 0, 1 into 0, 0 into 0. So this is all 0. 0 minus. What comes here? 1 into 0, 0 into 0, 1 into 1. So it will be minus 1. Correct. Okay, and what is the determinant?
1.
So what we get is lambda cube minus lambda square minus lambda minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, what are the roots of this one? Lambda square can be taken outside. This will be minus 1 lambda. Plus minus. If I take out this one, lambda square. What is that?
Yes, values are not distant.
One is not distinct, but then is the equation correct? Lambda square. Have I written this expression correct? I doubt I have missed something. Lambda square. This is minus 1, right? This is minus 1. So this is plus. Here I got it wrong. So this is plus 1. This is correct. Determinant is minus 1, not plus 1. So I get this expression. So when I take out this minus sign outside, here what we'll get is minus 1 equal to 0, lambda minus 1 into lambda square minus 1 equal to 0, lambda minus 1, lambda minus 1, lambda plus 1. So now check out what are the values of lambda 1 and minus 1. And which value has repeated over here? 1 or minus 1? Which value is repeated? 1 has repeated. So I'll write it here. 1, 1 and minus 1. Okay. Now again we want to simplify a raised to 50. Okay. So what will be the expression for this a raised to 50 now? It will be alpha into a square plus beta into a plus gamma into I. Is this step clear? Why we are writing this now? Because see over here, we are going to apply the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So according to that, what will happen is a raised to 50 will be same as a cube minus a square minus a plus identity. Okay. From this I have written this expression. Okay. Now this multiplied by the quotient plus the remainder. Okay. So this part will go to 0. So what is the remainder now? We are dividing the polynomial by this. So the remainder will be a square quadratic equation, quadratic polynomial. So it should have degree 2 term, degree 1 term and a constant. Okay. So this is what we have. Now how do we simplify this further? Now we'll write down the expressions in terms of lambda. Lambda raised to 50 is equal to alpha lambda square plus beta into lambda plus 2. Sorry, not 2, gamma. Okay. Now we can substitute the values over here. So when we substitute 1, put lambda equal to 1. So what we get is 1 is equal to alpha into 1 square plus beta into 1 plus gamma. Okay, when we put lambda is equal to minus 1, what do we get is minus 1 to the power 50, that plus 1. Alpha into minus 1 ka square, it is 1 plus beta into minus 1 plus gamma into I. Okay, so that is 1 only. So this is what we have obtained. Now check out what we have got is 1 is equal to alpha minus beta plus gamma. Okay, so this is equation number 1 and this is the equation number 2. Now, when we want to determine the values of A, B and C, we need the fixed values of A, B and alpha, beta and gamma. How do we get those fixed values? Provided we should get 3 equations. पहले तो हमको ये 3 equations मिले ही नहीं है. Okay, so that is what is important. So what are those 3 elements that were expected over there? So how do we get one more equation? So what we'll do is, suppose if I'm calling this as say A, not A, matrix भी हमने A से denote किया है. A statement, let me call this as a statement, let me call this as third, equation number 3. So now what we'll do is, we'll find the third equation. And how do we find the third equation? By differentiating this. So it will be 50 lambda raised to 49 is equal to 2 lambda into alpha minus, sorry, not minus, plus beta. That's it. Okay. Now in this equation, we will be substituting the values of lambda. Now we had 2 choices for lambda. Lambda can be substituted as 1 and it can be substituted as minus 1. Which value do we substitute over here?
1.
1.
The value which has repeated, only that will appear. So it will be 50 into 1 is equal to 2 into lambda into 1 plus beta. Okay, so it will be nothing but 50 is equal to 2 lambda. Lambda is there, alpha is 1. So what we have got is 50 is equal to 2 lambda plus b. क्या लिखा है मैंने? लैम्डा क्यों लिखा है यहाँ पे? लैम्डा नहीं आएगा.
It will be 2 alpha.
2 alpha. Very good. So this will be alpha here. So it will be 2 alpha plus beta. So it will be 2 alpha plus beta. Okay. So now we have got these 3 equations, 1, 2 and 3. We can solve them to get the value of alpha, beta and gamma. Is this clear? So the derivative expression, we cannot substitute in this expression lambda is equal to minus 5. So the derivative expression will be actually satisfied only by the repeated eigenvalues. See, suppose the eigenvalue was repeated 3 times. Right now, the eigenvalue was repeated 2 times, and then we have done this way. We have evaluated one more derivative. If it is differentiated 3 times, then how do we go about it? If the eigenvalue is repeated 3 times, then how do we go about it? We need to differentiate this lambda wala expression 2 times. Okay, and the repeated eigenvalue will satisfy this. Is this clear? Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
On a broader sense, if we say, this chapter actually deals majorly on eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay, we can use those concept of eigenvalues and eigenvectors to find algebraic multiplicity, geometric multiplicity. We can also use that concept to check whether the given matrix is diagonalizable or not. And after that, okay, and if at all it is diagonalizable, then we know what is the diagonal matrix and the corresponding transforming matrix. That is what we have seen. And one more type of questions that is expected is verification of the Cayley-Hamilton theorem and solving solving various expressions of A using the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So this is all we have in this. It is 11:47. So what I can suggest is, actually my target was to start with a new chapter. So this is what we have. Any doubts here?
Will you share
Trans-
the Blackboard file?
Blackboard file. आप screenshot ले लो ना, because that actually creates a lot of trouble for me. I'll just fit it in this screen and you can take the screenshots. I will try, but that also, that actually creates a lot of trouble for me. वो बहुत बड़ा file हो जाता है. Take the screenshot of this question. Then we have this here. Little if you zoom, then you will be able to see. One sum is not fitting or what? Yeah, it's fitting. See this, take a screenshot of this now. Is this clear? I want to move on to the next one now, next topic. Our test portion includes matrices, and the next topic that we have is complex integration. Okay, now what is that complex integration all about? Okay, now what is this complex integration? What is your guess? Now over here what happens is, when we are studying f of x and integration of this dx, okay, from a to b, what is the meaning of this? There's a function f of x. We are in one dimension. We draw the function. Suppose this is my a, this is my b. So below this thing, we are going to find this particular area. That is what we mean by complex integration. Okay. Now one more thing that we have to understand here. One that we need to understand over here is that while moving from A to B, there is only one way of doing that. Okay, it is along the real axis. Okay, along the real axis when we are moving, there's no need to understand what is the direction. या तो आप A से B की तरफ जाओगे या B से A की तरफ जाओगे. That those are the only two choices. And the convention, what it says is, if we are moving from origin to right hand side, then this is called as positive orientation. If from 0 from origin. If you're moving to the left side, then that is considered as a negative orientation. So these are the basic concepts that we have in that we have already discussed regarding the integration. Okay. Now, what is about fz dz? Okay, we can still evaluate within the limits a to b. Now, what is the meaning of this expression? Any guesses over here?
Integration from limits.
Yeah, so what do we mean by integration from limits? Okay, so we have a function. Okay, now the z is also a complex number. It's not just a x sort of thing. It is complex numbers. Okay, so we have got a function in complex numbers, and now what we have to do is we have to evaluate this integration. Okay, now where are these points a and b? This is my imaginary axis, this is my real axis, and this is my complex plane. Okay, where are these points a and b? They can, suppose they are here, a and the point b is there. If these two are the points, then when we are saying that we want to evaluate integral from a to b, it means what? We have to move from a to b, and along this path of integration, we will be evaluating what is the value of the integral. Okay, now how many paths are possible from a to b? I can go this particular way. I can go from this particular way in the dotted lines. I can move somewhere here and then I can come back to this particular point. There are many paths, in fact infinitely many paths that are available in complex plane. So it is very necessary, it is very much necessary that while evaluating this integral, we mention what this path is. Okay, if this path is mentioned, then it will be easier for us to understand. Let us understand this with an example. Evaluate this for the function, say x plus maybe 3y or something like that. Right. X plus 2y plus 1. Okay, now suppose this is the case. Okay, along the path, now actually, as we have seen, there are many paths that are available from moving from one point to the other point. Okay, so what is to be done is, whenever a complex integration will be given to us to evaluate, they will always mention what the point is. So what we have here, along the path given along the straight line. Okay, along the path that is a straight line that is the straight line joining the points. Let me have this first case. Okay, and we can have a second case also. So from 0 to 1 this way. 1 plus I will be this point. 1 plus I. This is the real axis. This is the imaginary axis. And the path is given by from here to here, from here to here, and then from here to here. Okay, so this is the path, this yellow one. Okay, now how do we do this? So what is the straight line? The first one is given over here as it is the straight line. How do we solve this? How do we solve this one? So we have from here to here. What is the equation of this straight line which joins these 2 points? What is the equation over here? Something happened and I got exited. Let me join back and start with this whiteboard. I guess my screen is visible now. So we were finding what is the equation of this. Am I audible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now here we have the point 0. Like this. Here we have the point 0 and this is 1 plus I. Okay. Now what is this line? What is the straight line joining this? What is the equation of this? Can somebody tell me? Lines are not coming straight in this screen. So here we have, suppose this is 1, this is 1. This will be 1 plus I draw the dotted line. Okay. Now the equation of the straight line. See over here. What is point is actually, if I see in the xy plane, ki jaise if this complex plane, I can also view it as the R2 plane. Okay. So the point is actually corresponding to the point 1 comma 1. Say 1 comma 1. So what is the equation of the line which joins the origin with the point 1 comma 1? If 2 points are given, then how do we find the equation which joins these 2 points? You remember the equation कैसे find करते हैं? Y minus y1 divided by x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So this will solve your all problems. Whenever 2 points are given, we'll take those 2 points as x1 1 and x2 y2. You remember ये सब हमने किया है. So how do we find these points now? So over here, let x1 comma y1 is origin. One of the points I'm calling it as x1 y1, and the other point we are calling it as 1 comma 1. Okay, so what is this equation now? What is this equation? Y minus 0 divided by x minus 0 is equal to 1 minus 0 divided by 1 minus 0. So this is 1, and this is y by x is equal to 1. Okay, so what is this equation? ये equation बहुत simple है. This is y is equal to x. ठीक है? Now, what is this equation? Over here, see, we are trying to integrate the function f of z, which is given as x plus 2y plus 1. Okay, and what more is given over here is dz is given. Okay, what will be this dz? What will be this dz? Again, see, what is our z? Z is x plus iy. Therefore, what do we expect that this dz will be? A small column, x plus I times dy. Okay. So now what we have got is, we have got this function f of z is also there and dz is also there. Now, have you noticed something? There are 2 variables coming, x and y here, also x and y. So how do we integrate this? Now this is a real trouble here. See, what we have got is, from 0 to 1 plus I, we have got the function x plus 2yi plus 1 into here I'll have dx plus I times dy. Okay, and so now see this, we are having 2 variables, dx and dy. So when we are having 2 variables, it is difficult to deal with this. Okay, how do we get particular problem over here? See, what is, we have to do the integration along this particular curve. The curve equation is nothing but y is equal to x. So we will be making use of this. So what we have is, along the line y is equal to x. What happens over here is, what will be dy? It will be same as dx. Is this clear? Therefore, what will be the expression for this dz? It will be dx plus I times dy, which will be dx plus I times dx. So finally, what we have got is everything in terms of one variable. Okay, then only we will be able to evaluate this integral. Similarly, this y is equal to x will be substituted in this function also, so that one of the variable will go off. Okay, and what about the limits of this particular thing? Now see what we have done. Okay, we can change the limits. What will be the new limits that we are going to get now? The new limits will be the will be, see, equation of line to हमको मिल गया. Okay, now I need to just decide what will be the variation. Okay, so if I am writing it in this particular fashion, for joining 0 comma 0 to 1 plus I, or 1 comma 1, to join these 2 points. Okay, what do we need over here? We have got the equation this way, y is equal to x, and what is the variation of this x? See, what we have done, if we are writing it in this fashion, it means what? We are treating y as a function of x. So I need to give what is the variation of this particular thing. So what is the variation? X goes from, now check out the limits for x. X goes from 0 to 1. Is this making sense? Are you understanding what is happening here? So now I'll tell you what we have finally obtained. Okay, so now this integral turns out to be 0 1 plus I x plus 2yi plus 1 into dx plus I dy is equal to 0 to 1 x plus 2x plus 1 into dx plus I dx. Okay, so this becomes, here I'll have x plus 1 plus 2xi. I cannot simplify this I wala term, so I'll just keep it this way. And this will be 1 plus I times dx. This can be taken outside because it's a constant number. Integration from 0 to 1 of this. What is the integration? X plus 1 whole square by 2, 2x square by 2. Okay, and then we'll substitute the limits for x. I into, now when we substitute the upper limit, we'll get 2 over here. So it will be, this goes off here. This part turns out to be 2 square divided by 2 plus here what we get is 1 square into r. When we substitute the lower limit, this will be 0. So it will be 1 minus 1 by 2. This will be all 0. So this is the answer. So it is four by 2. So it will be 2 plus I minus 1 by 2. This will be 3 by 2. We multiply these two numbers to get the answer. So this is what we have. So ultimately, what is happening over here is, this is called as a line integral, where we are evaluating the integral of a function of complex numbers where along a particular curve. Okay, line integral. That is what we say.
Ma'am,
Okay. Yes.
I'm could you explain how did you change that limits again?
Yes. See here, what has happened is, let's just go this side. The equation of the line is clear, right? The equation is y is equal to x. Okay. Now, when we say y is equal to x, y is equal to x. Now, check out what is the variation over here. Okay, wait. Let me just frame my sentence. So, here, Yeah. Along, see, equation is clear, right? We have got y is equal to x. This is the line. Okay. So now we have to identify if I want to join, if we want to join which 2 points, we have to join the points 0 and 1 plus I. Okay, now we have seen this 1 plus I is as good as 1 comma 1. Okay, so now this is the case. यहाँ तक ठीक है? This is my initial point and this is my final point. Okay, so from where should I start it? Okay, so if I want to have this x values, what will be the variation for x if I am doing this way? Okay, अभी भी मैं still my statements थोड़ा सा confuse हो रहा है. See over here. We are on this particular line, okay, and we have to identify what are on this line. We have got these 2 points 0 0 and 1 1, correct? So what value of x will give me this particular point? What value of x? 0, correct? Is this clear? See, we are on this particular line y is equal to x. We are on this line y is equal to x. Okay, and on this line there are 2 points 0 0 and 1 comma 1. Okay, now we want to identify what is the value of x at this particular point. So what is the value? It is 0. And when we go to the other point at this particular point, what is the corresponding value of x? X has become 1. Okay. If we solve some more example, okay, now I'll tell you one more thing, some other expression. Okay, so that this entire chapter will be like based on these lines, these curves only. We should be clear about the we are going to get. Okay, now please tell me what is the find the curve or find the equation of the line joining one is I, 2 and find the equation of the line which joins 1 plus I and 2 plus 3I. Let me take this. Okay, what is the equation of the line joining 1 plus I and 2 plus I? Okay, so this 1 plus I, this will correspond to the point 1 comma 1 and 2 plus 3I, this will correspond to the point 2 comma 3. Okay, now when we are dealing with this, actually these are the x and the y coordinates. Can you see this? Okay, so what is the variation for x? It is from 1 to 2. 1 will be the variation for y. It will be from 1 to 3 along the line. Okay, so now see this. What will be the equation over here? So let us write down what is the equation. So I can use the same concept, y minus y1 divided by x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so this y minus, let me have 1 over here, x minus 1 is equal to, and here we'll have y2. So it will be 3 minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1. Okay, now this means y minus 1 is equal to, this is 2 divided by 1, so this is 2. So it will be 2 times x minus 1. Y is equal to 2x minus 2. This goes on to the other side, so it will become plus. So this is 2x minus 1. Okay, y is equal to 2x minus 1. Is this clear? We got the equation. Okay, and see over here, this point 1 plus I is actually 1 comma 1, and 2 plus 3I is 2 comma 3. So x is going from 1 to 2. Is this clear? And here y is going from 1 to 3. So there are two ways. See over here. If I'm writing the equation like this, it means that y is equal to, y is a function of x. Okay. Therefore what will and along with this, what we'll have is, we will write down the variation for x. What is the variation for x? We have just now identified. It will be from 1 to 2. If we put 1 here, what do we get? Y will be 1. So that is the point 1 comma 1. If I put 2 over here, so it will be 4 minus 1. So it will be 3. So it will be from 2 to 3. So is this clear? So this is one way of writing the curve. Okay. There is another way also. Now see this expression. I can rearrange it. We can write it as y plus 1 is equal to 2x. That is, x is equal to y plus 1 divided by 2. Okay. So now what we have done is, now we have written x as a function of y. Okay. So now in this case, we need the variation for y. What will be the variation for y over here now? What will be the variation?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Is this clear? There are two ways of writing the same curve. Okay. Now any of these curves can be used for solving the line integral. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The chapter is pretty simple. Only thing is, we should be comfortable in identifying these curves. That's it. और mostly lines ही मिलने वाले, lines मिलेंगे और circles मिलेंगे. Okay. Now one more thing. How do we deal with circles? If I'm saying, let us do these curves only today, so that it will be convenient for our next lecture. Okay. Suppose I want to write down this circle. X square plus y square equal to 4. Okay. Now this particular thing, how do I write in a better way, or in terms of x or y, which will be convenient over here? For lines, will always prefer x equal to y equal to. For circles, will be too complicated. See the expression that we are going to get. X will be 4 minus y square का root, फिर आपको यहाँ पे plus लेना है या minus लेना है. All this trouble will be there. Okay, so we will try to avoid this. How can we avoid this particular thing? We can do over here a better way of writing. What does this stands for? Mod z is equal to 2. What is this mod z equal to 2? You remember what is mod z?
Unit circle.
Yeah, unit circle nahi. This equation represents a circle. But then what is mod z? If z is equal to x plus y, what is mod z? Square root of x square plus y square. So what will be mod z ka square? it is x square plus y square. Okay, so a compact way of writing this will be what? That mod z square is equal to 4, but then this 4 is nothing but 2 square, so I can write it in as mod z is equal to 2. Okay, and if this is the case, this is one way of writing. Okay, writing the circle, this is one way. Okay, but this will give me the entire circle, correct? Entire circle with radius 2. Now, if I have this one, if I just want to have this part of it, say some part on this particular circle, only this one in the positive quadrant, how do I write, how do we denote this circle, this part of the circle? How do we denote this part of the circle? You remember what is the polar form of a complex number? Or the exponential form of the complex number?
R e raised to I theta.
R e raised to I theta. Okay. Now over here, when I'm representing only this specific circle, the R value is 2. So this Z will be equal to 2 times e raised to I theta. Okay. And we want to have only this part of it in the first quadrant. So what we'll do is, see theta कैसे measure करते हैं? We start from this x, this line x-axis, and
0 to pi by 2.
Correct. Theta will go from 0 to pi by 2. Okay. So this will be the expression for writing the. If it is entire circle, we'll conveniently use this particular thing. If it is this one, some part of the circle, then this particular thing will be helping us out. Okay. We'll do more things about this complex integration in the next session. Any doubts over here?
Ma'am, for the entire circle, we can take one quadrant and multiply it by 4.